Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today we have a knife review of the Spyderco Dice. The Spyderco Dice. Holy cow, look at that sweet scale. That just looks awesome. So, Spyderco Dice, it is an Eric Glesser design, and I'm going to read over some specs and we'll get into the knife. So, the overall length of the knife is 6.5 inches long. The blade length is 2.5 inches. The cutting edge is 2.25 inches. The grind on it is flat. It's a satin finish. And the blade thickness is 0.12 inches. So talking about the blade, as you can see, it's a little bit more of a stout kind of leaf-shaped blade. We have a large spider hole opening to make it ambidextrous on either side. There's a fairly, it's like a concaved thumb ramp here on the top. And it has a nice flat grind like Spyderco's, all Spyderco's, or most of them have. Then what I really like, and I always like on a lot of knives, is the forward finger choil. Both of them have jimping, and the feel is really comfortable with your finger in the forward finger choil, and then up on the thumb ramp. Really nice. The blade steel is a CTS XHP. Very hard, durable blade steel. Yeah, so that's pretty much the blade. As well as the blade, this is a flipper. It's one of Spyderco's flipper designs. So besides the thumb hole for deployment, we also have the flipper. And the flipper works on a ball bearing washer system inside, which kind of caused me some trouble. I'm not too familiar with ball bearings, and I got this knife as a used trade, so it has been used a little bit, but still works fairly nice. But don't put oil on ball bearings because it seems to gunk it up, so I had to take it apart and wipe down all the ball bearings, but now it flies out. Because it's been used a little bit and I'm not too familiar with ball bearings, the centering's off on this pretty bad, just because of the frame lock. But, you know, it still works. It doesn't touch or rub the sides. But obviously we'd all want a perfectly centered knife. That being said, moving into the handle, this is a very ergonomic knife. It has a very nice contouring, as well as some other deeper choils in here for your fingers. It fits really nice into the hand if you bite back, but then once you get into that forward choil, it just kind of fits right in there, and your fingers just sink into those choils, and it's excellent. This is one of their more classier designs, with this really sharp cubed checkered carbon fiber G10 laminate scale. So what that is, there's a G10 scale, and then they put a carbon fiber layer over top for looks. G10 is really light as well, so it doesn't add much weight. The rest of the handle is made up of a titanium liner or frame, and then a back scale that is full titanium, which creates the frame lock. It is four-way positionable pocket clip, tip up, tip down, left, right carry. The one side of the liner, or of the frame, is milled out slightly. Not sure if you can see that in there, but there is some milling to reduce the weight. And it's titanium, which helps keep it somewhat light. As you can see on the frame lock, it also has a stainless steel insert to prevent any sort of wear from the titanium on the steel of the blade. The insert also works as a travel overstop, so that you won't overextend the frame lock. Some more stats. The handle itself is 4 inches long. The weight on the knife is 3.6 ounces. And other features, it is a flow-through construction. It has some polished stainless steel pillars, as well as a tubed lanyard hole. I haven't used much of the XHP blade steel. I do know that it's very tough and it holds an edge a really long time. But that being said, it is a pain to sharpen. So if you get any dings, it's going to take you a while before you work it out. But with some time and patience, you'll be able to get it hair popping sharp again. So, that being said, let's compare it to some other knives real quick. Because the blade length is pretty small, I consider this kind of a small folder, more of a gentleman's folder, much more classy. So we're going to compare it to some of my smaller knives. I got the Benchmade North Fork. We'll line up the top of the handle scales with this white line right here. So this is the North Fork from Benchmade. I have the CKRT Limited Edition Carbon Fiber Smoke Wash Squid. We have the Spyderco Cat, which I absolutely love. And then we also have the Mini Griptilian in the G10, which is pretty sweet. So now, as you can see, the Benchmade knives are clearly have longer blades, but not necessarily longer handles. As you can see, the handles are the North Fork is actually shorter, but it has like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch longer blade. The Griptilian is about the same length, but has a longer blade. So North Fork's pretty interesting, but we'll get that out of here in a sec. As far as actual cutting surface, as cutting edge, it's most comparable to the Squid or to the Cat. That actually looks about the exact same length. Which honestly, for an EDC, especially a gentleman's folder, you don't need that much of a cutting edge. So let's compare blade thicknesses real quick. As you can see, the handle is much thicker than the Squid, and the blade stock is about the same. So get rid of the Squid. We got the Griptilian here. It's about the same. Once again, the handles, no, they're about the same thickness. North Fork has a little bit thicker handle, I think, just because it swells a little. But the blade looks about the same thickness. And then the Cat, the dice looks slightly thicker in the blade, but the handle's thinner on the Cat. So now this is a pricier knife, and that's why it's kind of put into the gentleman's folder. One of those classier looking blades that you're going to want to only take out on special occasions if you're going out to a nice dinner and you want to carry a more classy looking blade. Definitely more of a collector's piece and a show piece. But, you know, if you got the money and you want to turn it into a user, definitely will function fine for that. Definitely really comfortable. You could probably do a lot of carving with it before you get any fatigue. But yeah, pretty sweet knife. The only other test I have for this little guy is the ugly brown glove test. So the ugly brown glove test is a way to test how well it opens as well as maintains grip in a hand using a bulky glove. So the flipper works fine. Honestly, without that the jimping on the ramp or the finger choil, my finger's actually locked in really well with the glove, so it still provides grip. I just don't have anything on the back, but when I move up, my thumb locks in, and yeah, it's pretty secure. See if we can close it. Close is fine. It's fine. We'll try the thumb hole. Thumb hole worked fine. So I mean, the carbon fiber laminate is kind of slick, but with those deep finger choils and the jimping, this definitely passes the ugly brown glove test. I'd give it at about 85%. It could be better. But either way, it definitely passes, so nice job, Dice. That being said, please, you know, like I said, cost around $200. They do have some special edition or variations ones where the carbon fiber scale is blue, and they also have a red one. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for those. Check them out. Really nice, classy piece if you're a Spyderco fan. They also have a larger one called the Domino that is basically same materials, just in a larger size. You could get both of them, would be great in a collection. So, thank you very much, guys. Make sure you check out the eye in the upper right-hand corner. Click on it with your cursor, and you will find some other links to some of my other videos. Be sure to check out my other videos, like, subscribe, comment, and check out this knife, Spyderco Dice. See you outside.